Rawlings ne mami and Sanwoy. But when Judge Makunadu. Your German on 2, GBC 1, Nukrum 3. Men can't say men man in Quabontin Kwawu, no more you. But what they say, Makunadu in any of her interviews. What is that about Bontain? Ebe can't say, buy a GBC. Turn in the water. And on in the BBA. You see, the best thing any woman can ever do for a man is to cover the nakedness of the man.
Sorry, I'm not too well. I don't really want to say anything right now because I've not consulted my lawyer. So I really don't want to say anything right now because the case is in court. But I will say one thing. I do not have a child with the former president, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings. I will say that.
I gave the Captain Smart opportunity. We wrote to him and his radio station asking him to retract because it's not true. The radio station wrote back and acknowledged and said they were going to investigate. Captain Smart did the retraction of the falsehood about Madam Selma Barcott, and then an apology done in the same prominence as it was done on the TV station. Honestly, what you are even looking at is token. We are just looking for 10 million Ghana cedis. Others are suing for 100 million.
Usia M24 sa ode kokomutie kwa yi a ye de sotro eja okwan sa be de Captain Smart na no akwakoyi ni kame no kase ya tabri no e de na akwakogyina mu e wo court a ye hwe kwan se 10 million Ghana cedis eno e na ye siuta wo mu de siu Captain Smart ni nyina ene se Captain Smart abroad former first lady the late Kunadu Ajma Rawlings e free mu no e na busua wo onua show times so na wo di maami e ho adanse e che na nyuma pa wa ye na wo kire se ne maami no esi ba boso na wo ta ni kunachi ni kunu sintom ni me ayom nyina maami no agina na kire se wo yerepa ye no na proverbs e kan wasem se wo yerepa wan ene benya Captain Smart kire se Ajma Kunadu Rawlings the late ono e na kire se ampa wo yerepa da busua ne kasa mu no e na wo bobo e ma former president Jerry John Rawlings ono so nyame emfa ne currency wo ni wo mo e wo ye e wo na wawe achi ya maami Ajma Rawlings amebo ho wa anka ho asem ama Ghana for anti o de compare nka ye na me ya nka mu wan e na betimi e di sa adwuma na busua enumu e na ko board GBC ni maami Selma edin a wo kire se former president J.J. Rawlings won sa maami no kra e wo e baba ko afi so kire se wo bi krapo enso e wo abrochi okwo miensa bi e wo baabi ni ade na eno e na sansem yi e kokko bae na maami wo te ase busua nsam na nya ne de e na wo tro kra ta de ko ma media general se ho e na Captain Smart e ye adwuma na wo kire se ensem ya Captain Smart e beto na wo nwa TV so na wo kan no enye ensem wa nani eje ho nti wo mo hye Captain Smart so won sanra na wo fa achawpa embabusua ensem yi esi November wo mo so wo ma hwe kwan ya hwa amahwe Captain Smart besi ne ya won fa apology no emma bontinze ne sa bredi patapapio to ye de mra na rotu atabri Captain Smart edna kwa kogina emra no 10 million Ghana cedis woje ede free Captain Smart ho too much GHS ne message sabra kwa ko video do be me subscribe to no so de achema ya no wakai so de bell no be ka ho se ne be ye na upload ni to mu a woni first person ya won sa ebidika kabusu ya ensem nyina no eye black rasta ene ochirechiri ma woni lawyer ni no akasa afi woni maame na Captain Smart bone din e ka asam no kire se president ene no e wo ba no one also say
Captain Smart in court over J.J. Rawlings defamation. Captain Smart is a brother I like so much. I love him. Yes, I love Captain Smart. He's a Pan-Africanist. An avowed Pan-Africanist. He loves Kwame Nkrumah. And anywhere Kwame Nkrumah's name is mentioned, he steps forward and claims ownership of the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah. This is Captain Smart. Oh yes. Sometimes he speaks in a way that would hurt some people, like all of us do. But that doesn't make him any less of a broadcaster. That's it. Several times he's been taken to court. We have never heard him jailed or convicted, but every now and then we hear that he's in court. The latest is this one that says that Captain Smart is in court. And Ghana Web did the job. Put it out. Headlines. Watch this. Captain Smart dragged to court over claim involving Rawlings, Selma Alassan. Dash it away. This is Captain Smart. So what did Captain Smart do? Why is Captain Smart in court? In fact, last year, somewhere in November, Captain Smart was on TV talking about Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, glorifying this great woman and talking about the wonderful things she did, how she stood by her husband in thick and in thin, in rain and in shine. And he was asking a rhetorical question. How many women today would stand by their husbands the same way Konedu did with Rawlings? And in it, he started to mention that even though Nana Konedu Agyeman Rawlings knew that Rawlings fathered children outside his matrimony, she still stuck to the man, and nobody ever heard her talk about it, at least not in public. He went ahead to allege that Rawlings had children with 3 different women. And he went ahead to at least give geographical locations of the women. Let us go into the video. It's a short video. Right after that, hey, I have something deep. Watch this. Okay.
Rawlings ne mami ensa woe. Ba when judge makunadu. Aya tene me bi ase. Mami ensa Germany ni ba ko, GBC ni ba ko. Ni krumu ni ba ko. Matre. The Rawlings no wo ye. Yo Germany on no 2. GBC 1, ni krum 3. Selma why me mbodi asoso. Rawlings ne wo ye. What is that credo ba bonten be kan bibi fa ho. Men kan say me ma ne kwa bonten kwa wu no mo yere no mo yedin o. But what is say Agyeman in any of her interviews? What is that oba bonten e be kan say abaya bi wo GBC. Obi e wo Germany. Obi e wo nukurukrum. So on ne wo ba. Ana on ne wo bibi ye. What is that wo wasum? From Agyeman, what that? One says, young Papa Rawlings and 3 more. I can go to no Rawlings or maybe or baby. You see, the best thing any woman can ever do for a man is to cover the nakedness of the man.
Captain Smart. So that was what Captain Smart said. In fact, the substance of what he said was a glory to women who cover their husband's nakedness. That was it. In drama, we call this an aside. He digressed a little bit and then went into the other thing, and that was what held him like an albatross around the neck. Captain Smart said that Rawlings had at least 6 other children while he was alive and outside his matrimony. And Nana Konedu knew all, but she never uttered a word. All the way until she died, she covered the nakedness of the man. He didn't mention the name of the woman in the Volta region who he said allegedly had children for Rawlings, 3. He didn't mention the name of the one in Germany who allegedly had 2 children for Rawlings, as he alleged. But he mentioned the one at GBC. He said, Selma. Say, why? Me body akano. He said Thelma. 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 That's what Captain Smart said. And then all of a sudden, a lady, a retired broadcaster, who was originally called Selma Ramatu Alasan, from a very prominent political home. In fact, her grandfather was D.C. Henkel. He was a powerful man in the days who fathered a lot of children. Her mother, Susanna Alasan, was the first woman to become a minister of state in this country under Kwame Nkrumah. This is the woman we're talking about. Selma Ramatu Alasan. Those of you who are a little older, we used to see her on GTV, so bubbly and hot and beautiful. Oh my God. This is Selma. Then she got married to a man called Valcott. And her name changed from Selma Ramatu Alasan to Selma Valcott. We all remember that in the days of the GBC. I interviewed you on my show at Xylophone. And there was a hot rumor in the days that she actually murdered a child that Rawlings fathered in the days. It was all over Ghana. My brother, my sister. And when she came on my show, even though we're supposed to talk just about her, I veered a little bit into that and asked her that question. In fact, she got emotional on the show. Those of you who watched it, you can still go online and check it out from Xylophone Media. She almost shed tears. In fact, we those in the studio saw tears. She said never. She never dated Rawlings. Rawlings was not her friend, let alone have a child with Rawlings. She had only one child all her life. And that child died in a car accident. And anytime anybody mentions that she had a child with Rawlings, she remembers this child who died in a car accident abroad. So I decided to place a call to her to ask her, Mama Selma, tell me, I'm hearing that you have sued Captain Smart. What exactly is the issue? Is it still about the Rawlings affair? How are you feeling right now? She didn't want to talk, but we always have a way of making them talk. Okay? Watch this.
Sorry, I'm not too well. I don't really want to say anything right now because I've not consulted my lawyer. So I really don't want to say anything right now because the case is in court. But I will say one thing. I do not have a child with the former president, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings. I will say that. Absolutely. And that is the end of my speech right now. Everything else is in court.
Did you ever date him?
No, please. I never dated him. And you're asking me why it's still going. I don't know why. I cannot answer that question. And I have already told you that I don't want to talk about it. I never dated him and I do not have a child with him.
Very interesting. But finally, how does this make you feel?
I feel horrible.
How does this rumor make you feel? How does it make you feel time after time?
I feel horrible. I feel sad. My only child, Omar Farouk Nagaya, whose dad was Alhaji Tijani Nagaya, died in 2004. And these rumors diminish the painful memory of my child and replace it with a lie. I'm brokenhearted. I'm sad. And I've been sad for decades. And Captain Smart was, I don't want to go there. It's in court. I don't want to say anything about him. I do not have a child with the former president of Ghana, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings. Please, can we leave it there?
Well, Selma Ramatu, she says she's sad. And every time this thing comes up, it breaks her down. I don't know why those rumors are not dying. In fact, I decided to speak with a lawyer. Because she told me she wouldn't want to tell me anything. If anything at all, I should speak with a lawyer. So I got in contact with the lawyer and I asked him some pertinent questions, neck-breaking questions. But he told me something that surprised me. So Selma Ramatu Alasan actually took this matter to court in the 1990s against Chronicle newspaper. Chronicle had published that she had a child for Rawlings. And she went to court and won. And years down the line, journalists are still saying that she fathered a child with Rawlings. The general public is still saying that she mothered a child that Rawlings fathered. My brother, my sister, let's listen to what her lawyer, Issa Adam, told us. Watch this.
Captain Smart on around 8 November, appeared on his TV show, Unia TV. And he was casting innuendos to the fact that Selma, Rawlings had children at different places. And he claimed Selma Al-Hassan has a child with Rawlings, which is not true. It had been rumored in the past like that she has a child with Rawlings, which is not true. And at a point even in the 90s, she even sued the Chronicle newspaper and got damages, So we thought that this issue had died, only for him to bring this out of nowhere. And it is not true. And it hurts the lady so much. It's so painful. And I gave the Captain Smart the opportunity. We wrote to him and his radio station asking him to retract because it's not true. The radio station wrote back and acknowledged and said they were going to investigate. Captain Smart didn't find our letter worth replying to. And so the letter was written in November and we are in January. So we decided to issue, upon her instructions, I decided to we issue this writ for defamation. For what he has done is actually defamatory to the character of the lady, Selma Al-Hassan, a very decent, unassuming, innocent lady.
All right. So when the TV station wrote back, what did they say?
They acknowledged, they first of all acknowledged our letter and said the allegations about their employee, Captain Smart, are very serious. And that they will investigate and get back to us.
Okay. So what are you looking at? What do you want from the suit?
Well, we want first of all a retraction of the falsehood about Madam Selma Barcott, and then an apology done in the same prominence as it was done on the TV station, and then for the damage done to her image and her personality.
All right. So how much are you looking at?
Honestly, what we are even looking at is token. We are just looking for 10 million Ghana cedis. Others are suing for 100 million more. In fact, it is not the money that is actually the issue. We just wanted the lies peddled about her to be debunked and to be retracted. That is why we are asking for this token amount.
So if he agrees that, all right, he would retract and apologize, are you going to let the cash go or you insist on it?
Oh, well, that is actually the basic thing we want. The basic were the image of the woman that has been tarnished so badly, so bruised. You know, the unfortunate thing is that Selma Al-Hassan used to be married, legally married to a certain businessman called Alhaji Tijani Nagaya. You know, and they had one child. Alhaji Tijani Nagaya is late, and then Selma's child is also late. His only child, that is her only child in the world. One Farouk Nagaya. And this rumor and whatever Captain Smart did actually brought back pains of her only child that she lost.
Why is it that this rumor being peddled around is still being peddled around? Because this one, as you said, was peddled around somewhere in the 1990s. And it's still going on, even though somebody was taken to court and judgment went in the favor of Madam Salma Al-Hassan. Why is this thing still going on?
Well, if I may hazard a guess, Salma Al-Hassan's grandfather was one DC Henkel, a famous DC who was DC for Ketekrachi area. He was also an educationist. He established a lot of schools in the north and other parts. In fact, he's also said to have either taught or established the school at Kimbu. And he had so many children. He had so many children all over. And I hear even at the age of, when he was in his late 70s and early 80s, he was still having children, you know. And Salma's mother, Honorable Susan Al-Hassan, who was the first ever cabinet minister in Africa under the CPP government.
And way ene ne ekɔ so ɛwɔ Captain Smart yɛhwɛ sɛ saa bere de lawyer yaba abɛkyerɛ mu sɛ o wɔn kora de asɛm no na nko mo pɛsɛ ɔmbɛtwe ne tan bia ne ɔmo hwehwɛ a ɛde sɛ ɛkora wɔ sɛ maka na so menwe asɛm no mia na mekae na so we die ma no na akɔ akɔpa na sɛ kasa mo so na mfomso mpamuti mfomso kɔfiri mu bɛnt we die ma mesrɛ wala wo kyɛw ni fa kyɛ me wɔ sɛ nkatwa tiawa kanya de sɛ asɛm no wɔn bɛtwem bi message sɛ obɛgye comment ɛwɔ comment section ho dia ma me all the social media handles no ɛyɛ too much gh all subscribe like no wa share na for so any be ahwe bidin at the dark gold ye be